Okay, hi folks, Steven here. Let's see, so, had a little technical difficulty here, despite the fact that I told YouTube not to start the stream as soon as I start sending video in. For some reason it decided to do that anyway. Twice. So, sorry if I sound a little terse here. We will try and take care of this. But, on a happier note... So, this is going to be a live stream of the original Pokemon Ranger for Nintendo DS. Be sure to let me know how you think the volume is going. Let's see, we'll be doing a music discussion, hopefully next weekend. I still need to get confirmation from Anne on what our exact date is. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, 1 second here. Things might be a little weird in just a second here, but I gotta change the input on my television. Alright, there we go. So yeah, this is the intro sequence. It's got obviously the Pokemon Ranger theme that's used in all three games. Kind of a March-like quality. This is interesting. This is the forest background. There's also a water background for this, which is kind of interesting because although you do go on the water in this game, let's see, give it a second here. Although you do go on the water in this game, you never go into the water like you do in the later Pokemon Ranger games. For whatever reason they have this. Alright. Let's see here. So hopefully all of our technical problems are sorted out at this point. In any case, you can see I have Ranger Rank 10. I did beat this a few days ago, and I'm in the post-game, for what that's worth, to be honest. There's not really that much of a post-game. Kind of annoying how it doesn't stay on there, on the title screen very long. But in any case, this game, I'm not sure I would have beaten it without save states. This is on the Wii U Virtual Console. Let's see, I do have RangerNet unlocked now. You do have to get to the post-game for that. Unfortunately, that won't work on this version, so let's just go ahead and continue here. And then this is the Ranger base theme, obviously. I think this is used in all three of the games here. There's also a very March-like quality to this one. Very triumphant feeling to it. I kind of like that. If we head out here. This is the one, really, the one city in the game. It's not a particularly large overworld in this game, to be honest. The other ones are a bit bigger than this and have a few more places to go. So let's see here. Yeah. The theme, the vibe that gives this city is fairly interesting. It gives it not a super bustling, because this isn't a huge city, but it is by far the most important. It's also the port city of the game. Let's see here. Can I get into... Let's go ahead and get into a capture thing here. I do want to be careful. So... Obviously, the music speeds up a bit here. Okay, now in this version of the game, or this edition of the game, you do have to get all your loops in one pass, which is honestly pretty annoying. That's one of the reasons it took me so much time. I never beat this game during my original playthrough on the DS. And that is a big reason why. Sorry about that. Alright. So let's take a look at a few places in town. There's one place that has a little bit different music. I think this is used in all the caves, I think, as well. but it's sort of the underground theme of the game. Here we're in the Wastewater Facility, or sewers. It's a fancy way of saying sewers. Gives it a bit of a mysterious quality to it. Kind of interesting. It does kind of go into this secondary part here, which is a little more happy. Yeah, a lot of woodwind work on this game. You can hear the water in the background there. Alright, there were a couple places elsewhere in the game I definitely wanted to check out. So let's see, there is a fast travel system in this game. Yeah, kind of annoying, the elevator, you notice all the Pokemon have to come in there. Alright, we use Dragonite to go to one of the other cities in the game. Yeah, so there are really only like 4 in this entire places in this entire game, which I guess the other games aren't huge, but they do seem a little bit bigger and more interesting than that. What I'm actually going to go to is Summerland, which is the sort of tropical place there. Let's walk around for a bit. By the way, spoilers a little bit if you haven't finished the game, which I suspect a number of you, even if you've played it, have not. Alright, the place I really wanted to show, though, is up here. Olive Jungle. This first part here reminds me of, like, the Bowser theme from the original Mario Party. And then it changes like this into this very much more bright sounding tune. And it kind of goes back to the more basic song there. As far as the Pokemon voices, I'm sure you've noticed they use basically the same stuff that you get in the main series games. And interesting, so this is a temple you go to maybe a little over halfway through the game or thereabouts. So this part here actually has no music. Now there are actually 2 different songs to this place, so a little bit of a spoiler alert if you didn't get that far into the game. So yeah, it doesn't start out this way here. But it does eventually flood over with lava. And the music here does change here to something much more serious sounding. Sort of a charging forward type of theme that we have here. Ta-da! So it's not quite as like volcano-y as some of the stuff we see in some of the later games' hot places. This is more of an urgent-sounding song. Let's see, do I actually have what it takes to do this one? I think cut 1, huh? Okay, well this is total overkill. We'll do this. See what's in here. There's a target clear. So still a little bit of water left in here. Ah, okay, 2 Poliwrath. So yeah, we'll see how this one works out. Okay, let's... So yeah, I do find that multi-Pokemon captures in this version of the game, in this edition of the game, are really difficult unless you use a good Poke Assist. Okay, that's one of them. I may have some more luck with this one. There's one little bit of strategy there that I tried to use. You know, I don't think I need both of these. While I'm here, I may as well recharge my Styler. You can see how those tend to be pretty difficult without assist. They really expect you to use them in this one, whereas you can kind of get away in the other two without using them much. They help, but you're not nearly as dependent as you are on this game. Let's see, was there anything else I needed to put in? I think so. Now, each of these, if you came in here originally, these would have each been challenges. This is actually in the pre-volcano phase of all this, is where I got stuck on the first time. There's a Salamence thing that I had to do that, where you have to get a bunch of loops again all at once. And I got stuck there, and I managed to do it. I don't know if I got lucky when I redid this replay over the last week or so, but I was able to do that without using like any save states like I had to later in the game. And I went back to the DS, like the actual DS version I had, and I was able to do it there. So I don't know what stopped me there, if I was just more tense then or what. It wasn't, I wouldn't call it easy. You do have to wait for an opening and stuff. And like I said, the fact that you cannot let up your stylus makes some Pokemon extraordinarily difficult. I think there are real difficulty balancing issues with this game, which is a major thing there. Alright, now unfortunately there isn't a quick way back to the Ranger base, because I do want to show some of the other areas in the game and what their kind of music is like. I'm purposely kind of avoiding some of the capture mechanics here just because I find them so awkward in this game. They were definitely improving later, although I think, to be really honest here, I think some of the stuff, like the problems, I think that are mechanic with this game, which are not just the capture mechanics, but largely that, I think soured a lot of folks. It's amazing that the sequel sold as well as they did. This was the best-selling game of the trio, but each of the subsequent ones managed to sell. Let's see, Almia, Shadows of Almia sold over 2 million, and Guardian of Sign still managed 1.5 million. And here we are back to the nice little town there. And there's a couple things I can do here. There's a Lapras minigame I could do. Let me give that a quick try just so you can see that. MC Fisher, huh? Let's see how badly I do with this one. I guess this is the water portion. Alright, let's give this little mini-game a shot. There are one or two other challenges quite like this that you can do throughout the game. We have this nice little jovial tune. It's pretty short, as you could probably expect. Okay, so that thing's just... Okay, nothing too hard there for that Staryu. I did try the land-based version. This is a Sharpedo. This is going to be more difficult. Well, that was nice. So I think this one I'm going to have to... Okay, we got it. So I did use the strategy there of sort of getting a few loops, staying behind it with the thing on the screen. That'll get you through some of the stuff here. Let's see what we got here. Carvana. It's probably a little easier than the Sharpedo. Okay, yeah, kind of figured there. We've got a lot of mist there. May as well go for this other Carvana. But the real annoying thing about it not being able to pick up style is, of course, if you get to like 1 or 2 loops left on a thing that requires a zillion loops, too bad, you have to start over. And it feels, I don't know, robbed is probably a little extreme in that regard. Let's see what we got here. It's a wild Magikarp. Okay, well, this shouldn't be. Have to wait for. Okay, have to wait for it to flop up before I can catch it. You can tell the music very repetitive in this because it gets broken up so much. They can kind of get away with that. Come on. There we go. Is this going to be another Magikarp? Horsey, okay, let's see. I have to wait for it to surface. Let's see, what else can I find here? Goldeen, huh? So I have to wait for it to surface to count. Apparently. It isn't really telling me. This is another awkward part here. It's not really telling me. So, like, did I do something wrong here? Okay. So that is, I guess it's just one circle, but it's not super obvious there since there is no number that appears beforehand. That would have been very nice. Okay, yeah, that's risky. You can do that for certain ones when they do a small area attack like that. Let's see, actually, so this is probably something bigger. Octillery, okay, let's see here. Get Okay, so it's 2 circles here, and my time is run out, but I get a chance to catch this. Phooey. Yeah, you really got to get on that. So this game isn't, like I said, this game isn't all terrible, but it has some definite design problems that were... See, the hard part is you have to let go of it. If I just had to make 2 circles... Felt like I made 2 circles there, but apparently I decided not to count. see there, I did make the circles, and because I hit the Pokemon at the end, it doesn't count for anything. There we go. Okay, so we get that. Like I said, no harm in me indefinitely trying there, since the clock does stay there. So, probably not a record. No, I think I've had enough of that. Okay, I should definitely at least save once. Yeah, it seems like that song gets cut off here. Like it's supposed to go on a little bit longer, and in the other games I think it does. There's a, you know, an up and down thing at the end there. It's not exactly the same, but it is pretty similar. Alright, let's check out some of the other areas. We have to go up. That is a little bit annoying. In the later games, you have better ways of, like, it's more convenient to go from place to place. For fast travel, there are a lot of steps in this one. I get the feeling that this may have been a bit of a rush job. Like there aren't too many major bugs, I think. Okay, let's head to Ringtown. I do want to visit each of the major areas in this game. But like the fast travel system... Sorry, I just have to listen to this. Obviously a very peaceful, somewhat remote village. Not a ton going on here. So this is just the Lyra Forest. Name totally... I mean, obviously, Lyra is the name of the female protagonist in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. For some reason, they did not use Chris. I don't know. This is a very early area in the game. Let's see. I can kind of bonk these trees if I want to. Do I have anything with a... Yes, I do. But I think I've already done that one before. These weaker Pokemon will pretty much ignore you. And this is a deeper part of the woods. There's a little more of a sinister vibe to it that you get to go to later in the game. See, I need to crush one. I think... Nope, that is still Tackle. Do I have a... No. There's nothing to recharge there. Let's see, does this... Nope, that has a vine grab type thing. So, Swampert, as you might expect. But you notice the music here is definitely a little more on the sinister, kind of something strange might happen side. And you know some of the Pokemon here, they're more aggressive and will sort of charge toward me. Let's see, let's go ahead and knock this tree a little bit. So that let loose a Beedrill, which is not too happy and goes straight after me. Ooh, so this is going to be another multi one. Anytime the Pokemon are close to each other on there, they will do that to you. Okay, not too hard on that one. Now you can do extra loops on there to get more experience points. Now unfortunately your level in this game does not, at any point that I'm aware of, change the number of loops you need to catch a Pokemon. So you cannot level up to get fewer loops on there. Beedrill, I think, has the crush I need, yes. But a lot of this game is these kind of fetch quests where you have to find the Pokemon with the right skill. A little bit of rising tension in this part of the piece. And here you can see we get a Wartortle in this little alcove here, or whatever you want to call it. Yep, so... So you can see the sort of strategy here on... There we go. Sometimes you can use that strategy where you have the line behind the Pokemon, so when they attack it goes forward, away from the line, and then you can sort of split up your captures as long as you keep it on screen. I still don't really like the mechanic there where you have to keep it on the screen the whole time. I do think actually not only does it make the game easier if you don't have to do that, but it also allows for deeper strategy and more things to happen and stuff like that. That's most of what I wanted to show here. To the east of town there's a cave that links it to Fall City, but I think the cave there uses the same music as the underground. In the later games, to get this, all you need to do to access that is to capture a Pokemon that can fly on the map once you eventually get that skill. Alright, so the one place we haven't been is Windtown. There's very much a seasonal theme to all of this. Now, I guess this is supposed to be wintry, but the actual, like, snow/ice area is, I think, a little ways down from here. So you don't... You see these evergreen trees, of course, but there's no snow on the ground, so... As for the music here... It's okay. I don't have too much to say about it, really. Sort of a pleasant village type of feel. Let's see if I can head down... A little more tense on this trail here as far as the music goes. Yeah, here's the ice cave area. So we've kind of mentioned before that in an ice or snow place, there's a couple of ways you can go. You can kind of go to the desolate landscape place, which is kind of what they're doing here. Or you can kind of go the Christmassy music type of place, which is definitely not what this is. And kind of a piano solo-y type of place. But I definitely get the feeling that they had to get this relatively in time with the movie and the stuff in the anime. So maybe not the most impressive thing out there. I think it's the trail after this that is a little bit longer, and that leads to kind of the last couple areas in the game, which I think we'll take here. Like I said, spoilers. And as you kind of guessed, quick try. Didn't right there. Coming through here. Give me a second. Okay, looks like it has recovered a bit here. I do not know why there was such a problem with all of this. If I just had my connection is usually... Sunday's a big day, obviously, for streaming and whatnot. Okay, sorry for the interruption there. My internet is not being particularly cooperative. I did reboot the router before coming in here, so... Not sure why things were being so uncooperative there, but in any case, you can kind of tell we're getting towards the end of the game mechanically. Really, you can tell here in this temple-like area. Did they actually fix it? No, unfortunately those steps do not get repaired in the post-game to make it easier to get to the end point. That would have been really nice. Alright, let's see if I can figure out my way. As you can kind of tell, this is not the most, straightforward. You have to kind of figure out how to use all the things to get up here. Let's see here. I don't want to completely give up on all this, but because there's like 1 or 2 areas. Okay, I think we go up here. Okay, so that becomes a dead end at that point. Okay, we got hit by this Aerodactyl. So yeah, the other thing is that you just kind of have to wait for some of this stuff. Out of that battle. Okay, we have made it a little further up, it looks like. The other annoying thing is to flee. You have to make 1 circle, and then you can walk away. So this is a way of Drowsy Man does in fact. And I look at the settings on my streaming and see if that helps. Alright, let's see here. I have no idea if that... Does look like the resolution has dropped a bit on the actual stream. I don't know if that really reflects it or not. It doesn't require a lot there, but I don't quite know if it's going to do its Vine Whip right away, or if there's going to be a little bit of a thing there. So let's see here. I think I have successfully, hopefully, changed the resolution here. It's not going to be too good here, but there's not a ton I can do about that, given what's going on with the bandwidth and stuff. Okay. But the sound should still come through relatively well. Alright, so let's see. Now, this next place I'm going requires 2 of these Tangela to get through, I think. So you have to be careful here. These Gligar will knock you down if that's not too hard to avoid. I think some of the ones in the later games where this also appears a little bit easier. As long as you keep moving, you're usually okay. So yes, the team, well, I forget they're called Team Go Rock or what. Ah, yes, that's right. There was, spoiler alert, an auto-destruct sequence towards the end of this chapter of the game. And things are not in great shape. I really do not want to fight those Beldum. I have caught them before, right? Yes. Ah, yes, here is another thing. So these, when you actually go through here... Not sure why things are shaking so much on the Pokemon. Ah, Tyranitar. I did catch you before, and I have no desire to catch you again. See, did I ever catch Metang? No, I did not, and there's a good reason for that, quite frankly. Well, I'll show you a little bit here, but I'm not sure. I doubt I want to, Yeah, so... Yeah, this is kind of another one that needs... Really, you need an assist for, because it's just going to charge your loop incessantly if you let it. I just do not have any desire. Oh, let's go ahead and catch this Ghastly. Okay, it does seem like this is a bit more stable, despite the low resolution. Thankfully, I'm playing a relatively low-resolution game. So, the way that works during the main game with these tiles here is they cycle on and off. And the problem with that is that... Isn't that another fun one? Is that you have to figure out when they're not turned on, you have to walk over them and make it to the other side. But there are a couple problems with that. First of all, you notice here, I can't actually see. There's 4 rows of these above me. I can only see like the first 2, maybe 3. There is usually a pattern, but actually figuring that out. And the problem is, if you get caught on these, you go back to that entrance thing where we first came in here. There are no checkpoints. There are no checkpoints in any of this. Oh, geez, Metagross, huh? Let's see here. Yeah, not going to bother. Let's see, is this staircase destroyed and I can't get to that portion of it? It looks like it. So, that's going to do it for this area. I have no desire to catch most of these Pokemon. Especially the Beldum line is just thumbs down on how they implemented that. But you can kind of tell the way these are. You do get a preview of them here because you see these things here that explain how they work. But then it goes up to where they're like 4 in a row there, and it just seems, to be honest, pretty unfair. But enough harping on a bad... Okay, it does open, good. Because I am not... there's no other way out anymore that I can see. I suppose the fastest way down this would actually be to have the Gligar hit me and knock me down. Now, unlike in some of the later games, you do not take damage to your Styler when stuff like that happens. Pupitar, let's see. Nope, already caught that. No desire to catch it again. Oops, there's a Magikarp. As you probably guessed, pretty harmless. It does have a Poke Assist, but yeah, not too interested. There we go. As cool as it is to see it fade out like that, I think it does actually take a little bit longer to release than some of the other Pokemon. At least this way we can go back more quickly. I should probably use this to recharge the Styler. Now, one bad thing about this is you cannot... if I went to the release screen and released one of those Pokemon, you notice when I released the Voltorb, I think I had some space left there. Oh, let's see. Oh, interesting. Gardevoir, huh? There we go. I am willing to try some of these, even though this is probably a very hard one. Okay, we actually did get that. I'm really surprised. I thought that would be a lot harder. But you'll kind of notice the Psychic Pokemon do not have... There's a one that gets added in a later entry called, I believe, Psi Power, which is another type of clear you can do. Oop. It's also really annoying when they go on the edges, because if they're literally on the edge, there's no way you can make a loop around them. Now, that is a problem they never really fixed in this series, unfortunately. But here it's especially frustrating since you can't just, stop making circles. You just have to either leave it on there and hope it moves to where you can go, which would certainly be nice. Very pleasant tune, as you can kind of tell there. Okay, well, I think that covers a fair bit. I think there might be one or two other places. Let's see here. Let's head over back to Falls City, sort of the central hub of this game. There's one or two other places I wanted to show you there. There's a place, the dock, that has a little bit different music. So yeah, this is actually the place where you start the game. As you can kind of guess from being the introductory area. Pretty calm and peaceful and welcoming. There's one place you can go in there. Speaking of Snorlax, in the beginning game, it's blocking this path. But as you can tell, it's just kind of another sewer area. And I think well, let's see. I think something will jump out here. There's a Blastoise that will. There we go. I'm probably not going to bother to capture this. So you can see how this is kind of annoying. First of all, it pushes it backwards, which is kind of a neat touch. You can see 16 loops there. Not worth me demoing to you. So yeah, that's kind of my major problem. The idea of going through and doing the entire thing in one go is it's just not very palatable. I would recommend, rather than playing this game, play either of the sequels. The two sequels, Shadows of Almia and let's see, this is a little bit of a new area you get in the post game. This is the capture arena. So yeah, this is a little bit of a different song. I forget where else it shows up. I think it shows up in some of the items, so I definitely recognize it. It's kind of nice how the Pokemon by default make a circle like that around you, which is kind of, given the way the game works, nice touch. We'll give this a quick try, but I'm guessing this is going to be far more than I ever want to do anything with. Figured that's not going to be too hard for a start, so let's see. Should make it bonus points for the extra stuff there, we'll see. It doesn't say that +1. I'm not sure if I'm getting extra points for that or what. Presumably these get harder at some point. Or there's a harder course I can take. So I'm not sure how you would even get up to that based on what I have here. Ah, okay. Okay, so that's a little more like it. You can kind of see every 10 or so, I guess we get a boss character. I remember one of the higher level grass Pokemon will just keep sending that out several times. See if we can make it 20. See there? So saved a little bit of time on there. Sorry, I accidentally turned the volume on the gamepad itself. So let's see, do I get another boss encounter now? I thought I had it there, but you can... I don't know. I felt like I got that last loop. Okay. Well, that does it for this one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, time's up. I'm sure someone faster could get into the 30s or 40s, but I'm kind of proud of that. So. I'll have to look up a video and see what, like, the ultimate record on all that is. Like, I'm sure someone can get into the 30s or 40s. I'm at level 15. I have a long ways to go to 6,000, and I doubt I ever will. Well, there's one more area we should take a look at. It's out this way. I did want to kind of cover most of the major areas. So this place is locked off until the end of the game. As it turns out, it's a, spoiler again, factory. And if this is the music they play while people actually work, I certainly would not want to work here. Very sad, depressing place. That does happen a fair bit in video games. You have the sad, depressing factory where they're pumping out whatever the bad stuff in that game is. In case you're curious how we get to the growl lift there, you drop down through that. Okay, same basic music here, so I was just wondering. Originally that is, of course, lit up, and now it's not. Now, one part, because this is post-game, I can't really show you too well, is that the main villains in this game, the Go Rock Squad, which in hindsight is kind of a bad name. I don't think there's a way to really get to them from here. Have their own thematic elements, both for when they appear and also for their battles and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And in fact, when they play their instruments, you can hear little bits and pieces from there. But they do show up in some of the later games, at least in the first one there, in the Shadows of Almia. Alright, so the last thing I want to check here that I know I can get to is that cave, which, like I said, I think uses the same musical theme as the place there, as the other underground areas. Yeah, this is a Gen 3 game, so of course it has the... See, that's always fun, isn't it? When they go off the screen like that. So, I'm not going to waste my time trying to catch that one. But you can kind of tell, same thing as the underground reservoir sewage place. Some Diglett there. It's a lovely Doug Trio statue. I assume Doug Trio must be in the game somewhere, but I don't know how you trigger it. See, I have no desire to capture that Linoon. Just, there's an in-game thing where you have to catch, like, 2 of them, or maybe even 3, and they dart around so much, it's just not fun. But if we follow this path here, it'll take us back to that little village, where is the real first kind of real place you go to in the game. I don't think Marsh Stomp, I'm not sure I ever caught this one. Okay, so this is probably another one I'll have to get behind. See, that's so frustrating when you get down to 1. I'm not going to bother at that point. I'm sure I could do it. I just don't want to waste your time on this. But you get the idea there that, you know, you get down to 1 and then it's like, oh, doesn't count. It's kind of like football, except you only have 1 down to make every first down. So you can see this is another part, back in kind of this foresty area again. Yeah, there's a Scyther over there. You can kind of guess that those aren't much fun to try and capture anyway. So I'm sure you recognize this area from the forest we were in earlier. So let's see, did we... Okay, so we must have taken the wrong way around some of this. I was trying to get back to the village that's south of here. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, this should be right south. This should look pretty familiar. Yep. Pretty nice place. So yeah, this doesn't have some of the other stuff that's in the later games. Like the, there aren't really any quests for optional stuff in there, which would have been nice, that you'll see in the later games. No awesome Mode 7-esque flying segments like in Guardian Signs. There you actually have to travel from island to island. We'll talk about those games in due time. We might get to Shadows of Almia later this year, but certainly next year, and probably also get to Guardian Signs next year as well. But yeah, so that's sort of a little bit of a tour of the original Pokemon Ranger. Like I said, it's got some definite mechanical issues. Like there's an escort mission in the game that I'm not too fond of. And like the catching mechanic, that's the big thing. The catching mechanic is just better in the other games. Yes, technically, in many ways, it is easier, but I think this game is just too difficult for its own good. I don't think I would have beaten it a couple days ago without the use of the restore points that you can use on the Wii U Virtual Console here. I really don't think I would have done that. So I would recommend actually you don't play this game for our upcoming discussion to prep for that. I've done it so you don't have to. It really is just not that good of a... it's the other 2 games are just so much better. And I think even so, even though the other 2 games sold decently well, I think this first game, if I had gone all the way through it to the point where I absolutely could not get anything done making any more progress. I think I would have been really soured on it and not picked up the later games. So, yeah. But musically, it seems to be mostly fine. Maybe not the most impressive side game. We'll talk more about it at a future date. I'm still working that out with Anne, and hope to have that done soon. All right, well, thank you very much, folks. See you again sometime in the future.